Hey, this is Victor Hayes, a 52-year-old billionaire tech mogul who owns half the valley. Known for luxury, power, and charm, he throws legendary parties, but this one turned into a night he'll never forget. And that's Riley, a 17-year-old homeless girl who nobody noticed, until she walked in and said something that froze the room. You won't believe what happened next. Stay with me till the end. Then, don't forget to subscribe for more unbelievable real-life stories just like this one. Victor Hayes wasn't just rich. He was Victor Hayes, tech genius, billionaire, mansion owner, the man whose name echoed through every news channel the day his company hit $1 trillion valuation. People didn't just admire him, they wanted to be him. And tonight, like every year, he was throwing his exclusive Hayes and Stars Gala, a private date party for celebrities, politicians, and the richest of the rich. His estate looked like something out of a movie. The front lawn alone was bigger than a football field, glowing under fairy lights. A marble staircase curved into a glittering ballroom where guests clinked glasses filled with $8,000 wine. Waiters moved like ghosts in tuxedos, offering hors d'oeuvres on silver trays. Outside, the air was warm and buzzing with laughter, music, and power. Victor stood at the center of it all. Tall, lean, in a designer tux, with his hand wrapped around a crystal glass of brandy. His wife, Clarissa, elegant and cold as ice, stood by his side, smiling her perfect smile, the kind you only learn from years of training in upper society. Everyone was having the time of their lives. Until she showed up. Nobody saw where Riley came from. 1 second, the velvet ropes were sealed tight with security guards on both ends. The next, there she was, a 17-year-old girl in ripped jeans and a torn hoodie, barefoot, her dark skin smudged with city dirt, hair wild and tangled. People gasped. Someone shrieked. A few guests laughed, thinking maybe it was a prank. But Riley didn't stop to explain. She walked straight through the garden path, past the glowing sculptures and champagne fountains. Her arms trembled as she clutched her backpack to her chest. No makeup, no glamour, just a tired, hungry, broken-looking girl with fear and fire in her eyes. Security spotted her too late. "Get her out of here," someone whispered. A few guests stepped away like her poverty was contagious. Victor hadn't noticed her yet. He was raising his glass, just about to give a toast, when Riley stepped into the center of the marble platform and yelled, "Don't drink it." The music stopped. A few gasps echoed through the garden. Victor turned. His eyebrows furrowed. Everyone looked at Riley like she had lost her mind. "What the hell is this?" barked one of the guards, storming toward her. Riley stepped back, lifting her hand. "Please don't touch me. I won't run." Clarissa's smile cracked. "Victor, who let her in?" Victor glanced at the girl. He squinted like he was trying to place her face. "I said," Riley took a deep breath. "Don't drink that. She poisoned it." The crowd exploded into whispers. Cameras clicked. A guest dropped their glass. Victor froze. Clarissa laughed nervously, eyes wide. "Is this some kind of joke? A day?" The guards grabbed Riley's arms. She didn't fight. "I know it sounds crazy. I know I look crazy. But I swear to God, Mr. Hayes, I saw her, your wife, 2 days ago behind Greenway Alley. She met with someone, handed him cash, and said the words, 'It needs to work this time.' I thought she was dealing drugs until I saw her give him this little bottle with dark blue liquid in it." Clarissa went pale. Victor's fingers tightened around his glass. Riley added, "Then I saw him leave with that same bottle and walk straight into a restaurant, the one you were in. I watched the waiter pour something into a bottle of brandy. This same brandy." She pointed at the glass in Victor's hand. Clarissa stepped forward, voice shaking. "She's lying. Oh my God, Victor, this is a scam. Look at her." "I'm not lying," Riley whispered. A hush spread across the garden. Security was still gripping her arms. But now they hesitated. Something about the girl's voice didn't sound rehearsed. It sounded raw, honest. Victor slowly set the glass down on the table beside him. "Let her speak," he said. Clarissa's jaw dropped. "You can't be serious." Victor raised a hand. She fell silent. He turned to Riley. "Why would you follow me?" "I wasn't following you," she said. "I was living behind that same alley. I sleep behind that dumpster every night. I didn't know who you were until I saw your face on a billboard the next day. That's when I put it together." Victor stared at her for a moment. Then he motioned to his bodyguards. "Bring the drink inside. Get it tested. Now." The guards nodded and disappeared. Clarissa laughed again, but it was thin, fake, sharp at the edges. This is absurd. A homeless girl walks in and suddenly we're running lab tests. Victor didn't respond. He stepped down from the platform and walked slowly toward Riley. Everyone watched. Phones were up. Nobody dared speak. Up close, Riley looked even younger. Her cheeks were sunken. Her lips were chapped. Her hoodie had holes in it. But her eyes were wide open, locked onto Victor's, full of fear and hope. "Why'd you risk coming here?" he asked. "Because if I didn't, and it was true, you'd be dead by morning. And nobody would believe me after that." Victor said nothing. Riley blinked. "I didn't want anything from you. I swear." He stared at her, lips pressed tight. Then, slowly, he turned to Clarissa. "Did you poison my drink?" She scoffed. "Oh, come on, Victor. Are you seriously listening to this?" He didn't break eye contact. "I asked a question." Clarissa glared. "No, of course not." Just then, one of the guards came back, phone in hand, whispering something in Victor's ear. His face changed. He looked at the crowd, then at Clarissa. Finally, he whispered, "You really tried it." Clarissa's eyes widened. "Wait, what did he say?" "That test doesn't prove." "Enough," Victor said sharply. He turned back to Riley. "Let go of her." The guard stepped back. "You hungry?" he asked. She blinked. "Why, yeah." "Come inside. You eat first. Then you tell me everything you know." Clarissa screamed. "You're ruining everything over a bum." Victor turned to her. "You tried to ruin me. Tonight." And with that, he walked away, with Riley by his side. The crowd stood in stunned silence as the homeless girl who wasn't supposed to be there walked straight into the billionaire's mansion, while his wife stood frozen in the garden with mascara running down her face. The marble floor of Victor Hayes' private dining room gleamed under soft golden lights. The air smelled like fresh roses, grilled salmon, and power. Riley had never been in a place like this. Heck, she had never been in a house like this. The walls were so tall they felt like heaven might be watching. The silverware alone looked like it cost more than everything she'd ever owned. She sat at the edge of the giant dining table, stiff and quiet, trying not to breathe too loud. A kind-faced chef brought her a warm plate stacked with chicken, mashed potatoes, and buttered bread. Her stomach growled so loud even Victor cracked a small smile. "You can eat," he said. "Nobody's judging you here." She nodded. "Thank you, sir." Victor Hayes, billionaire tech god, sat across from her, arms folded, watching with quiet curiosity. He had just kicked his wife out, in front of 100 people, all because Riley, a homeless teenager, had warned him about poison. And now, they sat in silence. "You from the city?" he asked. "Yeah, born a few blocks from North Ridge. My mom used to clean hotels." "Your dad?" Riley looked down. "He was in jail most my life. I never met him." Victor didn't press. He noticed how fast she was eating, like each bite might be her last. But she wasn't greedy, just grateful. "Why didn't you go to the cops?" he asked. "I did," she said, swallowing hard. "I told one of the patrol officers near the train station. He said there was no evidence. Said rich people don't do stuff like that. Told me to mind my business before I got hurt." Victor's jaw clenched. Typical. Riley looked up. "I didn't know what else to do. But I couldn't sleep knowing what I saw. So I waited 2 days and came tonight." "You risked a lot. Felt like the right thing." He studied her face. Even under all that grime and exhaustion, there was something pure in her eyes. Something most people lost once they made it big. Then she reached into her backpack. "I kept this just in case I died trying," she said, and slid a torn piece of cardboard across the table. On it was a drawing. A perfect sketch of Clarissa, Victor's wife, handing off the small bottle in that alley. The man beside her wore gloves and a hoodie. You couldn't see his face. But the bottle, it was exact, down to the curve of the cap. Victor stared. "You did this?" Riley nodded. "I remember everything I see. Always have." "You're gifted." "I like to draw." He leaned back, processing everything. "You know she's gone, right?" he said after a beat. Riley looked up. "Who?" "Clarissa. I had her escorted out. She'll be facing charges by morning." Riley froze. "You really believed me?" Victor nodded. "I trusted your eyes more than her lies." The girl swallowed hard, blinking fast. No one had believed her before. Not the cops. Not the teachers. Not even her own mother when she said her stepdad was dangerous. Victor stood and walked to the glass bar in the corner. Poured himself a drink, this time one he opened. "What are your plans?" he asked. Riley blinked. "Plans? You want to go back to the streets?" "No, sir." "Got anyone?" She shook her head. "Nobody." Victor took a sip, then placed the glass down. "How about this? You stay here. One of my guest houses is empty. You get food, a clean bed, safety. In return, you tell me everything you saw that night. Every detail. And you keep drawing. Anything that comes to mind. Deal?" Riley stared at him like he was speaking another language. "You'd do that? I wouldn't be alive right now if it wasn't for you." She tried to say something, but her voice cracked. So she just nodded. That night, for the first time in years, Riley slept under a roof. The next morning, news exploded. Clarissa Hayes arrested in shocking poison plot. Teen girl saves tech billionaire's life, hero or setup. Victor Hayes breaks silence. "I owe her everything." Reporters camped outside Victor's estate. Every outlet wanted to know who the mystery girl was. But Riley didn't talk. She stayed inside, drawing quietly. Victor had assigned her a tutor, a therapist, and even sent one of his people to buy her new clothes. But he never pressured her. Not once. A week later, the police called. They had caught the man Riley sketched. He had a record. Went by the name Milo Trent. Known for shady deals and drug mixes. The bottle still had Clarissa's fingerprints on it. Case closed. Victor watched it all unfold from his office, feeling both relief and rage. He had almost died because of someone he loved. And the only reason he was still here was a girl who had nothing. That night, he called her into the library. "You drew this too?" he asked, holding up a sketch she'd left on the desk. It was a picture of his mansion, lit up under moonlight. But at the bottom corner was a tiny version of Riley, sitting under a tree, smiling at the stars. She nodded. "You ever think about becoming an artist?" "All the time. But nobody ever cared what I made." "I do." Riley looked up. Victor smiled. "And I know a few million people who will too." "What do you mean?" He stood and grabbed his phone. "Tomorrow, you're launching your own art page. I'll have my media team help. You post a new sketch every week. We tell your story. Let people see the world through your eyes." Riley's eyes widened. "You'd help me do that?" "I'd be stupid not to." She covered her mouth, holding back tears. Victor put a hand on her shoulder. "This world, it doesn't always see the good in people like you. But it should. You didn't just save my life, Riley. You gave it new meaning." 6 months later, Riley walked into the same mansion where she'd once arrived with dirt on her face and holes in her shoes. Now, she wore a sky blue hoodie, clean jeans, and sneakers that actually fit. Her hair was braided neatly. Her hands no longer trembled when people looked her way. She looked like someone who mattered, because now, she believed she did. Victor Hayes stood at the base of the grand staircase, looking at his watch. "You're late." Riley grinned. "Traffic. You don't drive." "I walked into traffic," she joked. He laughed. "You ready for tonight?" She nodded nervously. "Kind of." Victor put a hand on her shoulder. "Hey, you've faced worse than a few flashing cameras." She took a breath. "Okay, let's do it." Outside, a huge white banner hung above the gallery doors. "Vision, the Art of Riley Carter, sponsored by Hayes Foundation." The line to get in wrapped around the block. People from all walks of life were waiting to see the sketches of a girl who used to sleep on sidewalks. Her story had spread like wildfire. Not just because she saved a billionaire's life, but because her art was raw, human, and full of truth. Inside the gallery, each drawing was framed and lit like gold. There were city alleys, broken payphones, mothers holding babies on bus stops. There were kids playing in sprinklers in front of rundown buildings. There were faces filled with struggle, hope, and light. Victor walked beside her, silent. "These are incredible," he finally said. "They are just memories," she replied. "Exactly why they matter." As people entered, gasps filled the room. "Is that her? She's so young." She saw the world and turned it into beauty. Reporters tried to crowd her, but Victor kept them back with a quiet nod to his security. One woman approached gently. Middle-aged, gray streak in her hair, holding her daughter's hand. "Hi," she said. "My name's Melanie. This is Kayla. We just wanted to say, thank you. My daughter saw your drawings online. She started drawing again. Said if you could make it, maybe she could too." Riley smiled, tearing up. "That means a lot. Thank you." They took a picture together. The girl hugged Riley tight. For a moment, It felt like the whole world slowed down just to breathe. Later that night, as the gallery closed and the team packed up, Victor and Riley sat outside on the steps. The moon hung low and calm over the city skyline. "You ever think about what's next?" he asked. "All the time. And I want to teach other kids like me. Give them paper, pencils, a chance. Show them their story matters." Victor smiled. "You're already doing that. But I mean really do it. Open a center. A place where no one gets laughed at or ignored. Where people listen. You'll need funding. Staff. Support." She looked over. "You in?" Victor laughed. "I was in the day you saved my life." They shook on it. A new beginning was born that night. 3 months later, Riley Carter's Sketching Hope Youth Center opened in the same neighborhood where she'd once been ignored. It had a big open studio with free supplies, therapy sessions, meals, and after-school programs. Kids who were once silent now had a voice. Parents who struggled now had help. Riley taught classes every week. She didn't lecture. She told stories. "This one," she'd say, holding up a drawing of a sleeping man in a bus shelter. "This was Mr. Calvin. He used to hum gospel songs and give me his leftover coffee. People said he was crazy, but he always called me little sister. He looked out for me when nobody else did." The kids listened like she was magic. Because to them, she was. Meanwhile, Clarissa Hayes sat behind bars. She tried to lie. Tried to blame Riley. But the evidence was airtight. The city turned its back on her the same way she once turned her back on a crying girl. Victor never visited her again. But he told Riley, "I don't hate her. I just finally learned to stop trusting people who only smile when the cameras are on." One afternoon, as Riley was sketching a quiet portrait of a student, a man entered the center. Old, tired, with eyes that looked like they carried a million regrets. "Excuse me," he said. She turned. "Can I help you? I don't know if you remember me, but I'm Officer James. I was the one you spoke to outside the train station, the night you warned us. I didn't believe you." Riley froze. The memory was sharp. "I just wanted to say, I was wrong. And I'm sorry." She looked at him for a long moment, then nodded. "I forgive you." The man's eyes watered. He stepped outside, head lowered. Riley stood silently, heart beating slow and calm. The past had a funny way of showing up once you healed. A year later, Riley was invited to speak at the National Youth Empowerment Summit. She walked onto the stage, jeans, hoodie, same quiet confidence, and stood before thousands. "My name's Riley Carter. I used to sleep under bridges. I used to steal crackers from gas stations. I used to believe nobody cared about me. But then I saw something. Something I wasn't supposed to see. And for the first time in my life, I spoke up. I didn't do it to be famous. I didn't do it to get a mansion. I did it because it was right. And now I'm standing here to tell you something. Your voice matters. Your art matters. Your truth matters. Even if you're poor. Even if they laugh at you. Even if the world turns its back. Say what you saw. Say what you feel. Because somebody out there is waiting to be saved, and it might be by you." The crowd rose. Applause thundered like waves. Victor watched from the front row, hands folded, proud. He didn't make her a hero. She already was one.